Let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. I can admit when I'm wrong. I did not think the Saints were going to go out there and beat the Dallas Cowboys this week. Not only did they beat them, they beat the brakes off the Dallas Cowboys, and they beat the hell out of the Carolina Panthers last week. Now, I'm going to start with week 1, then I'm going to talk about week 2. Last week, you could say they beat up on a bust quarterback in Bryce Young. At the same time, they manhandled NFL competition. Derek Carr is rarely getting touched inside the pocket. And this is an offensive line that is missing one of their best offensive linemen in Ryan Ramczyk. The offensive line looks very good. And I'll give Clint Kubiak a lot of credit for that. He's come in, he's given this offense a lot of life. And we saw this last week when they went against the Carolina Panthers. One of the first plays was Derek Carr hooking up with Rashid Shaheed for a 59-yard touchdown. On the day, he had 3 catches for 73 receiving yards last week and 1 receiving touchdown. He did it again this week against the Dallas Cowboys. Not only did he have the deep ball play, he was also causing them a lot of problems in general. They couldn't guard him. I mean, you look at Rashid Shaheed on the day, 4 catches for 96 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. They are doing this without Chris Olave being their top wide receiving target. It's Rashid Shaheed. Now, I do think as the season progresses, Chris Olave will go back into that role of being the number 1 guy, and he still is the number 1 guy. But Rashid Shaheed, with the speed that he has, is crazy. You can't put him in one-on-one coverage. You just can't. The Panthers' defense isn't terrible. They have good players in the secondary, and the same with the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't want to hear Dallas Cowboy fans say we don't have Deron Bland. If you had him or not, he was still going to beat those guys over the top. And Chris Olave can still make those tough, crazy catches for you in the intermediate routes as well. The run game looks very strong with Alvin Kamara. Today, he had 4 touchdowns. He had 20 carries for 115 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. He also had a receiving touchdown as well. He had 2 catches for 65 receiving yards. And I said this early on. When Alvin Kamara is fully healthy, he's a very good running back. He has the same skill set like Christian McCaffrey. I look at Williams, the running back last season, missed majority of it dealing with an injury, but he's very good in those short yardage situations. When it's a 3rd and 2 or a 3rd and 3, you can give him the football. They found a way to use Taysom Hill more. Pete Carmichael was a terrible offensive coordinator the last couple of seasons. But Clint Kubiak, it's only 2 games, but he's going out there. He's taking the pressure off of Derek Carr. They're basically playing pitch and catch. They're getting the football out quicker, and Derek Carr looks like a significantly better quarterback in this system. He has done more in this system in the first 2 games than he ever did with Pete Carmichael. The red zone offense was a huge concern with Pete Carmichael. So far with Clint Kubiak, it looks better. They went perfect today until Derek Carr had an interception with just scoring in the red zone. And I will say this about Derek Carr's interception. It wasn't that big of a deal. Interceptions are going to happen. And this is coming from a guy that is seen as a Derek Carr hater in the past. It wasn't that big of a deal of an interception. As long as they can stay healthy on the offensive end and Clint Kubiak can continue to get these guys going together and he has that great connection with Derek Carr, they're going to be in a very good situation moving forward. And they're going to be a dangerous team in this division. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're also still undefeated. They went out there, they handled business against the Detroit Lions. That's a tough team in the NFL, and they did their thing against the Washington Commanders as well. So it'll be very interesting when these 2 teams face each other. What's going to happen in that game? You also have the Atlanta Falcons. They didn't look too hot in week 1, but they still have a lot of potential with Kirk Cousins and the pieces that they have. But when you look at the Saints as a whole, it's more than just their offense. Their offense has been lacking over the last couple of years since Sean Payton stepped away. Now he is back in the NFL as a head coach with the Denver Broncos. They struggled to try to find a consistent at the quarterback position because you had Andy Dalton, you had Jameis Winston as well. But now you flip it to the other side. Dennis Allen, I still question him as a head coach, but as a defensive-minded coach, I've always said this, he has been a good defensive mind. Even back to when Tom Brady was in this division, he had great defensive game plans. The same thing today. The defense went out there and they balled out, and they have been doing this over the last couple of seasons. Marshawn Lattimore has been dealing with injuries. When he's on the field, he is still one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL. But what is so scary is that they have a lot of guys that can step in and they can be number 1 corners. Paulson Adebo is a very good cornerback. Alontae Taylor is very good. They drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry. So it's not out the realm of possibility to where they could go out there and maybe move on from Marshawn Lattimore, which they're not going to do. But if he's dealing with injuries and he's out for a game or two, you slide those guys in. They're not missing a beat. Their secondary is a strong suit of their team. And you have a guy in Carl Granderson who led the team in sacks last season. He looks very good. Cameron Jordan, not the sack machine that he used to be, but he's still a very good defensive player to have around. He's a very good veteran. It's hard to run the football on him. I like Brian Bresee a lot at the defensive tackle position from Clemson. Demario Davis, one of the most slept on linebackers in the NFL. They have Willie Gay as well, who came over from the Kansas City Chiefs. So they have good talent. The only questions that I had with how Derek Carr looked in a brand new system, because Derek Carr have moments where he looks very good, but is very inconsistent. So far with Clint Kubiak, it's very consistent. And I know it's only 2 weeks in, but people were ready to crown the Dallas Cowboys last week when they defeated the Cleveland Browns. This was a major win for the New Orleans Saints, for them to win this on the road. And I will say it again, I was wrong about the Saints. They look like a deadly team in this division. I understand we're just 2 weeks into this thing, but this is a long football season. But one thing that does carry over is a run game. The run game looks very solid. Derek Carr is very efficient off of play action. That's a great sign to see as well. Rashid Shaheed can beat people deep. He was able to do that last season. Chris Olave, very good wide receiver. One of the better young wide receivers in the NFL. Jawan Johnson is a very good tight end. He hasn't done much just yet. And you have Taysom Hill as well. So they have a lot of good pieces. I was never concerned about their defense. I was just concerned about the clock management with Dennis Allen and how their offense looked. But so far, so good. I like what they're doing as a whole. And to go out there and make Dak Prescott not throw just one, but 2 interceptions in the game, and that man just got paid, and you did that in Jerry Jones Stadium, that's a statement win. And you did that against an NFC opponent as well. That's a great win for the New Orleans Saints, and they deserve their flowers. And I'm giving it to them. Great win for the Saints. I'm going to be paying very close attention to see what they can do moving forward. But so far, they're in the driver's seat with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this division. The Carolina Panthers are done. I'm just going to be real here. The Panthers are done. But their biggest competition would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you could say last season they won off a tiebreaker. If they didn't lose that game against the Green Bay Packers, if Jameis Winston didn't come in, he didn't have the interceptions that he had, maybe they make the NFL playoffs. But they're going to be in better shape this season if they can continue to stay healthy. Because if they were to make the playoffs last season, Pete Carmichael and the lack of adjustments would have hurt them as a whole. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the New Orleans Saints, and are they a real contender in the NFC, or are they just winning out right now because we're early on into the NFL season? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. And I will also say this, Chase Young as well is with the team. You guys let me hear all about it in the prediction and preview video. I understand that Chase Young is with the New Orleans Saints. He's a very good pass rusher when the motor is on and when he's fully healthy. He's a very good, impactful playmaker. He did have a lot of up and down moments with the San Francisco 49ers, but when he's fully healthy, he's a very good pass rusher. Coming off the edge, he's a very good run stopper as well. But thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.